You've probably been told to just keep applying. Crank out 50 apps, 100 apps, and eventually one will stick. But here's the truth. That strategy almost never works. And if you're wondering why your inbox is full of rejection emails or you've been ghosted more times than you can count, let's break down the real reasons why most finance internship applications go nowhere. When I first started applying, I thought I was doing the right thing. I had a decent GPA. I was blasting out applications to every finance role I could find. Corporate finance, operations, asset management, you name it. And yet, nothing. Weeks would go by with no replies, or I'd get auto-filtered out before the first round. Felt like I was throwing spaghetti at a wall, hoping something would stick. If you're tired of spraying applications into the void, you need to change how you're approaching this. The easiest first step: download our free cold message template. It's a message framework you can use to send to alumni or professionals today and actually start real conversations. Links in the description below. The turning point: I stopped following the myths that most students blindly trust, and I started playing the game the way it's actually played. Let me show you what I mean. One of the first myths is that GPA is everything. Your GPA is like garnish on the plate. Nice to have, but it's not the main course. You might be thinking, if my GPA isn't a 4.0, am I dead in the water? I've seen students with 3.0s land competitive roles because they had strong stories, great networking, and skills they could speak to with confidence. Meanwhile, I've seen 4.0 students get cut early because they couldn't connect with recruiters or stand out from the crowd. To give you an example, I know a student who studied econ and statistics his first couple years at college. There were a bunch of math-heavy courses and it completely tanked his GPA. Later, he transferred to the business school, picking up a finance and econ major, eventually bringing his GPA back up. And he ended up landing an internship at BlackRock in one of their most competitive groups. In his interviews, they would always ask why his GPA was so low, but he continued to progress through the rounds. He was honest and told them exactly what I just told you, didn't try to hide it or make up any excuses. So why wasn't he kicked out of the recruiting process for having such a low GPA? He had great stories, relevant experience, and projects outside of school and work that he could speak to with real confidence that got him past all of the normal filters that would have screened somebody out. Recruiters don't hire transcripts. They hire people who fit the role, show initiative, and bring flavor to the table. Your GPA gets you past a screen, but it's not the meal. Myth number 2 that you need to stop believing is that applications are fair. Think of the application process like a buffet, but the best dishes are gone before you even get in line. You might think, hey, if the application process is fair, why don't I hear back when I'm qualified? Here's the truth. A huge chunk of roles are filled before they ever even hit LinkedIn. Recruiters already have referrals, internal candidates, or students that they've met at networking events. So if you're applying cold, you're often competing for leftovers. And trust me, I learned this the hard way after sending dozens and dozens of applications into the void. And that's why networking is non-negotiable. A referral can vault you over the pile because instead of your name just being another line on the spreadsheet, you become a warm intro that recruiters actually pay attention to. While it's unfortunate that most candidates who apply cold don't receive equal consideration, in some respect, I can't entirely blame recruiters for operating this way. With how easy AI has made it to mass apply to job postings, and with LinkedIn Easy Apply literally taking 2 seconds to click the button and you're already considered for a role, I could see how recruiters, who are people, would have a hard time manually reviewing thousands or sometimes tens of thousands of applications by hand. So if we as job applicants are using this technology to help improve our volume and our rate of applying, I really can't blame recruiters for using those same technologies and tools to help reduce their volume and make their jobs easier. It's sort of 2 sides of the same coin, if you see where I'm coming from. Now, again, I would hope that we could be in a system where everyone is treated fairly and everyone has an equal shot at the role, but if you really want to make a recruiter's job easy, the way to do that is to become known to them and share your skills, share your story, share your experiences in a way that aligns with the role that they're trying to fill to make it known, hey, you don't have to do too much thinking. You don't have to screen thousands or tens of thousands of resumes or applications. You know that I'm here, I'm fit for the job, we know each other, and I know the people on the team that I want to work for. And all of these different things combine to make it a no-brainer that you should at least be considered for an interview over any of the people who are just applying cold. So at the end of the day, one of the main goals of networking with recruiters or employees on the team that you want to work for is so that you can make their hiring decision easier by being the best candidate for the role and making that known. And myth number 3, it's my favorite. Only Target schools get in. Great chefs come from all kitchens, not just Michelin star ones. You might be thinking, if I'm not at a Target school, is it even worth trying? Listen, I didn't go to a Target school. I didn't have a family in finance. And the same goes for many of my students. And still, we were able to land interviews and have broken in, not because of our school, but because of our strategy of building a personal brand around strengths and leaning hard into networking. I've worked with plenty of underdog students who have beat out Ivy League resumes because they played smarter. In fact, every time that I've heard, hey, you don't come from a Target school, we don't really hire from there, I always viewed that as a strength rather than a disadvantage, because if anything, I was going to work harder for my spot than the Ivy League student or the Target school student who got fed the opportunity on a silver spoon. Bulge bracket banks don't come to our career fairs. We have to work for those opportunities. And if you can embrace that mindset and adopt that underdog attitude, people will have a hard time turning you away. Your school might open a door, but it doesn't keep it open. What keeps it open is clarity in your story, persistence in your outreach, and the ability to show that you've done the work to belong there. So the truth is, GPA, job boards, and Target schools don't guarantee anything. The students who win are the ones who play the hidden game. If you want to see exactly why blasting out 100+ apps doesn't work, go watch this video next. It'll connect perfectly with what we just talked about. Let's cook. I'll see you over there.